Hey everybody, Reverend Michael, Sinister Sidney. We are back into the spinning vortex tunnel. It is Friday. Friday the 27th. We had other things come up yesterday, so I'm getting back to washing the rings and then skinning the vortex tunnel. We do have rain coming, but I'm covered, so I should be able to keep working.
Welcome to Sinister Sidney.
Alright, so systematically wipe down all of the rings, all of the slats. While doing so, I found a couple of our bolts that aren't completely tight, so I'm going to head back up and get the ratchet and get a drying rag too, to make sure everything's nice and dry before I spray the adhesive on it. Yep. Alright, so all the bolts have been checked and tightened where we need. I don't know if they weren't tightened completely to begin with, or if they just kind of shook loose, which is very possible. That's something we'll have to do every weekend. Double check the bolts, make sure everything's nice and tight. We don't want nothing happening. And so it is now to skinning it. This will be the fun one. I got to stretch the skin out across the railing. I'll start with that rail right there, hook it on. We have spray adhesive. I use a 99, a strong one, to glue them on. It worked really well last year, even though the thing wasn't done, or wasn't working, and we didn't have the tarp over the top. It still held up through several rainfalls and snowfalls until it just got too much, of course, and pulled it off. This year we are covered, so I'm hoping we'll have better luck with it. Alright, segment 1 attached. That only took like 45 minutes. Of course, I got to spray, run around to the other side through this little hole in here, come over, do a section, go back, go back, go back. But we're moving. Segment 1 is attached. That's one of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one of 8. Moving on. Alright, number 2 down. That one took half the time. I got a little process going now. Maybe this won't take forever. We'll see. And there's number 3. We're rolling now. Halfway there. Number 4. So we're halfway there. Woohoo. Moving on. And there's 5. We're in the home stretch now. Break time. And number 6. 2 left. Let's see if we can go white on that. Boom, there we go. 2 left, all the way down and under. Although I don't think, as I remember from when we first did this, they did not give us enough cloth. Although I seem to be, I did a little tighter this time, and I seem to be a couple inches ahead. So I don't know if it's gonna close up or not. Might have to go buy 20-foot 8-inch wide piece of black cloth, but oh well, moving on. Alright, so okay, focus, there we go. There's number 7, almost done, and I was correct. We are short just a couple inches, so I'm gonna have to go and buy a bolt of cloth. I need 20 feet long by 8 inches. We'll go 40. I'll take it clear up to there, but yeah. So anyway, on to do the last one so I can test. Alright, it's do or die. I've got the last of it done. Like I said, there's, yeah. So I'll need to get some more black cloth. But I've got it glued down. Things are plugged in. Let's see what kind of, get that out of the way, because that's the one thing that we'll catch till we get that other part on. Let's see what happens. Oh my God, it's spinning. Look at her go. Look at her go. Nothing's catching. We're well away from the lights on the side. Oh, looks like we got a leaf. Yay. Alright, well there was 4.5 hours I'll never get back. Alright, so now that I have the spinning vortex tunnel up and running, minus a little bit of cloth that I need, but painting won't be done till this weekend, so we can move on from there. And I am going to grab some extension cords and start running lines. Got a couple major lines I got to run, and then a few minors. I left a lot of it up last year so that I wouldn't have to run it again because it's pretty complicated. But we'll just keep on moving. All right, I got one of the main lines run. Runs from in here in the shed up and over nice and high. Through the trees and down into the hen house, which is back in there. And that powers, we learned we had to have that on a separate circuit because it doesn't power much, but it does power the coffee pot. And then a little bit of lighting out here too. So got that one run, and then I got sidetracked moving wood, Apollo wood, from there and from there into there so it can quit getting wet and we can have a bonfire. Back to running cords. So then for the dragon tunnel, I run a single circuit there. This side of the shed is on one circuit and this side of the shed is on another. So I run from over there, I run a single circuit because I've got 2 fog machines plus going off that, and varmints years ago dug a hole right down there which I keep plugged except when I need to run an extension cord through it, which then comes out on this side, and through some trickery and sleight of hand I take it across at about 7 foot and over and down. I have one trip hazard here, but I'm the only one who goes this way, and I put a log right there so I don't forget about it, and that goes into the dragon tunnel and then splits to inside. It goes up here so to run the fogger in there, and it comes down here so I have an outlet down here, and it comes over here to this corner, so I have an outlet over here also, and that way I can power. I got 3 fog machines running off that line. They all seem to do okay. One of them is only like a 400, but I got my spot up there where I got a fog machine and a perfect storm and a couple other things, some lights running. And then, like I said, I've also got an outlet here for the dragon that goes here, which is this guy, that guy right there, and then the big green winter dragon and his fog machine goes right here. You might say, Reverend Michael, well, that's a lot of splitting and pulling off and putting a lot of weight on a single line. And you know what? Seriously though, I've done the math, and it all holds it just fine. We've been doing it this way for 3 years now. I've been doing these splits. Pretty much just like household wiring. Use good cords, use good splits, and don't overpull your circuit, and everything works fine. To be honest, the hardest part is that every year the trees grow. Now I use the trees for mounting lights, obviously, since this is nature and we got to put them somewhere. And I believe this was the tree I mounted in last year, or possibly it was this one. But that crux right there was down here. Or maybe it was this one here. And that crux was down here. I don't know. But they change on me. Although that one, that's nice and high up. I think that's where I'll go this year. But yeah, so even though I use the same basic layout for running my cable, running my cords and my lights and stuff like that, the positioning changes every year because nature changes every year. All right, I was just talking about this, how Mother Nature changes. I lost my tree. I used to have a tree right here that I could put lights on. There's parts of it right there. It's dead. So I'm going to have to see if any of that is solid enough to hook to. Maybe that one right up there. You can see it. I like to try and keep my lights up high. And like, see, I got plenty of lighting for you to see. It's not even, well, it's not really even dark out here yet. But see, I've got my lights up there 10, 11 feet. So on the exit to the Dragon Tunnel, when they come out, this is all illuminated so they know where to go. Oh, may not be focused. There we go. And then that's illuminated. And that one, even though this is the hot, I may move the hot spot just a little further, like right here. But you can see I got shadow all the way up until about here. And I don't want shadow after this point because I have something in the dark to come out at them. But I want to put that next set of lighting somewhere over here. That might be a little close, actually. But point it here so that the curve is still, the curve to the maze is still illuminated. Okay, so I'm getting hungry. It's about time to eat. Ooh, I like blue lights. I like green lights. I like red lights. I like colored lights. And yeah, I got my little headlamp too. All right, so I've got the lighting that's got to be run off that circuit done. From the, here comes George. Hi, George. From the Dragon Tent. Oh, and Dewey and Minnie. We got everybody coming. What you guys doing? To the skeletons, over to the werewolf. They're coming through here. I can go wide. Oh, wide doesn't work well. Now, hi. Hi, you got light now, huh? Isn't this kind of weird? That's George, and this is Dewey. Hi, Dewey. He's hard to see. Yeah, there he is. Hi, Dewey. Where'd Minnie go? Where'd Minnie go? I know he was with you. I don't know. He's out there somewhere. But anyway, so we go there. We've got enough light to see where you're going so you don't fall on anything like a cat that's rolling over being all cute and stuff. And yeah, he's got to have a belly rub. He's got to have a belly rub. Y'all got haunt cats, right? You got to have a haunt cat. Or 3. And so that takes us over to here. They come up. There is a scare back there, which is just barely viewable by the eyes. They're focused on the light, on where they're going. There's a body over here, and that leads down that direction, which is where the maze is. And there's more light when you get down there. So this, believe it or not, illuminates that enough that everybody can see. Somebody wants loving. All right. So it's time for me to head in. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Tripping over cats. To head in and get some food. Maybe I'll work on the next zone, which would be down at the maze. A little bit later. Now that I've got some light happening, I can keep working into the night as long as it's not raining. So that's awesome. And yes, I like to rotate between red, green, and blues. But yeah, we've got enough to see. Enough to see Minnie coming down the trail. There he goes. Zoom. So yeah, we're all good. Alright, so I took a little dinner break. And back at it in the circus tent now. We have several strands of lights that are out. So I grabbed me some lights. We got ladders still working just fine, but several strands that are out. So I grabbed me some lights and we'll get to replacing. Work continues. So I don't know if it's just me or because it's night or because of the flappy things in the doors or the generator or what, but I keep catching shit out of the corner of my eye. You know, I've got things. You ever been in your hut and like freaked yourself out a little bit? Well, I've done about all I can do for tonight. We've got lights all the way around. Outline the exit. Fix the stair lights. So that's all lit well. Yeah. That's about it for tonight. It's like 11 o'clock anyway. Correct that. 11:22. One more thing I want to do though. Just wanted to see what the fading of the skin did. And it has caused the areas where it's faded, you can kind of see them. But I think when we put the fluorescent on, it's not going to be as bad. I'll tell you one thing, even without the fluorescent on, or without the fluorescent paint on it, yeah, it's messing with me. That's it for today. See you in the funny pages.